and laid down a temporary but pristine grass pitch just for this tournament. The stands are packed with over 70,000 expectant fans. Getting here has been no small feat. Travelling supporters from both nations have faced exorbitant ticket prices, heavy travel expenses and challenging climates just to represent their colours on American soil. Yet despite those immense hurdles, the dedication in the stands is breathtaking. The French fans cluster together, making their voices heard with a proud roaring rendition of La Marseillaise, while the Spanish faithful have been just as boisterous with their own anthem. The history between these two sides is dripping with competitive drama. Lately, Spain have held the upper hand and acted as the ultimate party pooper for Les Bleus. It was Spain who came from behind to knock France out in the semi-finals on their way to winning the European Championship 2 summers ago. And it was Spain who edged them 5-4 in that breathtaking 9-goal Nations League thriller last year. But France are a very different beast today. They are playing with a freedom and offensive potency we haven't seen in years. Didier Deschamps, who is stepping down at the end of this tournament after 14 incredible years at the helm, has released the handbrake. France have stormed into the Final Four as the tournament's top scorers. They've dispatched Morocco and Paraguay with absolute authority. They are chasing history tonight. A win makes them only the third nation to ever reach 3 consecutive finals of this summer showpiece event. Yet to get here, they have to breach a Spanish side that is currently riding the longest unbeaten run in its entire history. Under the calm academic guidance of Luis de la Fuente, Spain have gone 36 matches without tasting defeat. They've conquered Portugal and Belgium in the knockouts with late dramatic goals, proving they know how to suffer to win. They want the ball, they want to dominate the pulse of the game, and they do not care who is standing in their way. The team sheets have been delivered, so let's run through how these two giants line up for this evening's battle, starting with the favourites France. Didier Deschamps has made 2 changes to the starting lineup that defeated Morocco 2-0 in the last 8. The dazzling young PSG winger Bradley Barcola comes into the side on the left wing, replacing his club colleague Desiré Doué. Barcola's direct electric running will be tasked with exploiting the spaces left by Spain's aggressive fullbacks. In a massive boost, Real Madrid's €100 million man Aurélien Tchouameni is fit and back in the starting 11 after missing both the Paraguay and Morocco matches through injury. He replaces Manu Kone in the pivot to partner the experienced Adrien Rabiot. Tchouameni and Rabiot will look to feed a terrifying front line, featuring PSG's Ballon d'Or holder Ousmane Dembélé on the right, Bayern Munich's creative superstar Michael Olise operating centrally, and the captain Kylian Mbappe leading the line. And in front of Milan keeper Mike Maignan, it's a settled-looking back four. The rock-solid pairing of Arsenal's William Saliba and Bayo's Dayot Upamecano start at centre-back. Barcelona's Jules Koundé occupies the right-back slot, tucking inside to form a back three when Aston Villa's Lucas Digne bombs forward down the left. So that's Maignan in goal, a back four of Koundé, Saliba, Upamecano, Digne. Tchouameni and Rabiot the engine room. Dembélé, Olise, Barcola will be offering the ammunition to Kylian Mbappe. Luis de la Fuente, on the other hand, has opted for complete continuity. He's named the exact same starting 11 that ground out a 2-1 victory over Belgium on Friday. The majestic Rodri of Manchester City anchors the midfield alongside PSG's Fabian Ruiz, who gets the starting nod ahead of Barcelona's Pedri to provide a robust, complete midfield engine. That means that both Pedri and Arsenal's Mikel Merino, the dramatic late match winner in each of the past 2 rounds, must settle for places on an incredibly deep Spanish bench. Barcelona's teenage wonder kid Lamine Yamal starts on the right, Atletico Madrid's creative engine Alex Baena starts on the left, and Barca's versatile Dani Olmo is in the number 10 role. Real Sociedad's big game specialist Mikel Oyarzabal leads the line as the central striker, looking to add to his impressive return so far at this tournament. Behind them, Athletic Club's Unai Simon starts in goal, Tottenham's rugged Pedro Porro and Real Madrid's latest signing, assist king Marc Cucurella, occupy the full-back positions, flanking the central defensive partnership of 19-year-old prodigy Pau Subasi and naturalised Frenchman Aymeric Laporte. So that's Unai Simon in goal, a back four from right to left of Porro, Subasi, Laporte and Cucurella. Rodri and Ruiz in midfield. Yamal, Olmo, Baena and Oyarzabal will hoping to set up opportunities for the Real Sociedad forward. The pre-match anthems have been sung with immense pride. The final handshakes have been exchanged. The pre-match pleasantries are officially complete. It will be Spain to kick us off. Oyarzabal standing over the ball. The referee for tonight's clash, Ivan Barton of El Salvador, blows the whistle. We are underway in Dallas. Years of rivalry, 90 minutes of footballing chess, maybe 120, maybe even penalties. And a ticket to the grand final is right here on the table. And it's Spain in white shirts, deep red shorts and white socks up against a French side in that tricolour colour kit. Blue shirts, white shorts and red socks. And it's Marc Cucurella who plays it into midfield. Mikel Oyarzabal doesn't mind coming to drop deep to pick the ball up. Near the halfway line. Things have been different. Naturalised Frenchman now playing for Spain, says that his decision to play for Spain is its defensive partnership with Robert Lenormand. 2 years ago to steer Spain to the Euro 2024 title. On his judgment, at club level and international level. Level 2, but there's been a slightly heavy touch from Rodri. We'll try and pick himself out of trouble. Is signed for the Spanish Giants. First time in, well, forever for many people. Backwards to William Saliba. Chouameni. Mr. Upamecano. It's given away by Rabiot, but only temporarily. Helped out by Koundé there. Now Dembele to Elise. Couldn't quite reach the former Crystal Palace man. 48 goal involvements for Bayern Munich this season. What a campaign he's had. One more assist and he equals Pele's record. Going back to 1970, the most assists at this tournament. Ruiz to Pedro Porro, made off to teenage Kubasi. Now wandering forward comes Aymeric Laporte. Forward for Baena, just dawdled on the ball, showed too much of it to Dembele. Rabiot tried to make ground down this right-hand side, but ran out of space, so it's back with Laporte. Kubasi. Rodri, rather. Laporte. Olmo. Tracking into the centre circle. He's got his head up, but so far France very well organised defensively. Olmo. Both of these sides have had their moments throughout the tournament where they've looked unconvincing. Spain, of course, that 0-0 draw against Cabo Verde, one of the darlings of this edition. And France were a little bit worried by Senegal. Cucurella. Out on his left-hand side, Baena make the run. He was trapped by Koundé, though. Laporte. Baena can't squeeze it past Koundé. Rattles off his knee into Ousmane Dembele. He'll find Mbappe in the centre circle. The French captain finds Lucas Digne getting forward on the left-hand side. Now Bradley Barcola will try a run at Pedro Porro. Barcola emerges on the other side, tries to get his cross away. And it's behind off Pau Cubarsí for the first corner kick of the evening. With one of the changes made by Didier Deschamps, Pedro Porro misjudged the challenge initially. Didn't get any contact on the ball, and Barcola had a clean run at it. He's looking for Ousmane Dembele on the corner of the 6-yard box. It's going to be Elise to take the set piece. Red boots tonight from Michael Elise. Swung in left-footed, the outswinger towards the penalty spot. That's headed away by Laporte. Rifle back in there. I say rifle, but it's probably a little bit too kind on Adrien Rabiot. Rather dribbled off the outside of his left boot and goes behind for a goal kick. Penny for a couple of these players' thoughts. The likes of Pedro Porro, Marc Cucurella, in fact the entire Spanish back line. They're playing up against Barcola, Elise, Mbappe and Dembele. But Lucas Digne as well, equally, with Lamine Yamal. Here's Upamecano. Back to Maignan. It's Aval just lurking. Magnan's ball is up towards the left-hand side. Barcola challenged for it. It was off Pedro Porro. Will bounce towards the byline. Maignan will come and pick it up, or keep it in play at least. Took a little bit of time on the ball. Hasn't been the explosive start to the game that many were predicting. These two sides will be well versed in their opposition. Here comes Koundé down the right-hand side. Slipped inside to Ousmane Dembele. Little deflection back to him, but he couldn't take it with him, and it's Fabian Ruiz who has it left of centre inside the Spanish half of the pitch. To the numbers defensively, temporarily, Rodri. Fabian Ruiz. Kubas will turn between the lines by Lamine Yamal, but Adrien Rabiot was too strong for him. It's Saliba to Ibrahima Konate, forward to Elise on the half turn, tries to slip it first time through to Kylian Mbappe, and it was Aymeric Laporte that sensed the danger and intercepted the ball. Now here's Dani Olmo, right of centre, out on that right-hand side, inside the French half of the pitch, finds Lamine Yamal, will try and take on Lucas Digne. Here's Dani Olmo, again, can't bundle his way through, goes down on the edge of the box, referee blows the whistle, and it'll be a Spanish free kick, right on the line, that challenge. Adrien Rabiot with his arms out, protesting his innocence. We'll have a look at the replay. Well, he's got a chunk of the ball, but he's also come down on the right boot of Dani Olmo in the process. It's the follow-through that's causing the problems there. It's a good decision from Ivan Barton. Made a bit of history earlier on in the competition, became the first referee to send a player off under that new law prohibiting players from covering their mouths in a confrontational situation. You might remember him. Dismissed Paraguay forward Miguel Almiron earlier in the tournament after a VAR review. That verdict, after review, number 10, Paraguay, cover his mouth. Decision is red card, he said emphatically. If referees can shoot to fame in this kind of tournament, he's one of them. Kept a relatively low profile otherwise. On Japan versus Sweden in the group stage, Switzerland versus Colombia in the round of 16 as well. Referee at the last edition too, in 2022. Germany's shock group stage defeat Japan, and England's 3-0 win over Senegal. Spain are upset because there's no line with that vanishing spray on the ground to illustrate to the French wall where they should be standing. And he's just going to have to walk to the sidelines. I think he might have forgotten the spray. He's been handed it by the fourth official, Glenn Nyberg of Sweden. Wry little smile from Ivan Barton. It's not just players that feel the nerves of these kind of occasions. Was through standing over this one. It's about 5 yards away from the right edge of the penalty area, right on the line. There's enough distance between the goal and the ball to get this up and down. Will it be Baena? It's straight into the wall, bounces back out to Lamine Yamal. Tries to take on his man. Yamal lifts it toward the back post. There's a queue of bodies. And it's Ibrahim Konate that rises highest. Fabian Ruiz tries to get it back in. It's off Koundé. Spain with the throw. Well, Lamine Yamal immediately took on his man out there. It was Bradley Barcola in an uncomfortable position. A high ball towards the back post that I think was aimed more towards Aymeric Laporte than anybody else. France had numbers back though to cover that sort of distribution. There's Porro forward. Trying to force it between Saliba and Lucas Digne. Saba was close, but not close enough. Here's Maignan, rolls it to Saliba, now laid off by Tchouameni. Maignan, lovely pass from the goalkeeper, finds Adrien Rabiot on the left-hand side. He's got runners in front of him, one of them is Bradley Barcola. Won't receive it this time. Kylian Mbappe wants it short, back to Adrien Rabiot on the left-hand side. Laid off to Digne. Now Tchouameni. Square to Upamecano. Aurelien Tchouameni. Saliba. Tchouameni. Teo Upamecano. So ball over the top. Jules Koundé. Gets in behind Aymeric Laporte, but he's recovered really well there, the former Manchester City defender. Laporte now plays his football with Athletic Bilbao. At 32 years of age, he's one of the most experienced players in the Spanish side. Correa. That's Baena. Forced back to the edge of the centre circle. It's long towards Fabian Ruiz. Looks for Dani Olmo. It's looped back by Rabiot to Mike Maignan. Olise deep inside his own half of the pitch in a rare loose pass from Michael Olise, almost latched onto by Dani Olmo. There's Saliba to spare the blushes. There's Olise popping up in the right back position. None of these two sides can afford to make a mistake. Spain have been virtually flawless throughout the tournament. The goal against Belgium was the first they conceded. Took a goalkeeping mistake late on as well. Sergio Ramos, you've got to feel for him. Mikel Merino, the hero of the hour, the second game in a row. The first player, in fact, in the history of this tournament to score 2 winners in consecutive games after coming off the bench. Sure, we'll probably see him late on. Brilliant player to have in the squad, isn't he, Mikel Merino? On paper, a centre midfielder that can really fill in across that front line. Showed that for Arsenal after joining, following that Euro 2024 campaign. Olise shut down by Fabian Ruiz. Is that a slow start to the game, Michael Olise? Oyarzabal. Kubasi. Rodri. Laporte. Cucurella. Ruiz. Now Laporte. Rodri with time on the edge of the centre circle. Laporte with his header. Cucurella with space now down this left-hand side and supporting Alex Baena. Will use him. Here is Baena of Atletico Madrid. Ruiz just inside. Now Rodri. Very central position. Tries to shrug off Michael Olise. Bit of a rash challenge from Olise. Lunged in there. Caught him hard on the ankle as well. And you can see it's just been a bit of a shaky start for the man born in London. Eligible for Algeria, Nigeria, England, of course, country of his birth, but said he always wanted to play for France for a spiritual connection. That's a bit of a dodgy challenge, you know. The more you look at it, the worse it gets. The studs into the side of the ankle of Rodri and then right up the side of his leg. He's pretty fortunate not to have picked up a yellow card there, Michael Olise. Rodri's okay, he's on the ball now. Laid off to Laporte. Now Marc Cucurella. Back to Aymeric Laporte. Much movement in front of him. Spain happy to keep the ball, they always are. Flung out to this left-hand side is Alex Baena. Takes it down in front of Jules Koundé, who's got tight. Baena's cross deflected off Koundé, dropped to Elise. First time ball releases Dembele down the right-hand side. Early ball towards Kylian Mbappe. Unai Simon is retreating. Mbappe tries to sort his feet out. He's got 3 defenders to get past. Mbappe. It's Dembele across the face of goal. Barcola. Elise. Well, some real French flair and fire there. For a moment, it looked like Mbappe might take it on early with Unai Simon way off his line. But done really well there, Spain, to recover their numbers. In the end, there were 3 around Kylian Mbappe. Corner taken short. Dembele. He's the only French player appealing for a handball. It was Oyarzabal in the way. Olmo will complete the clearance from the right back position, and Lamine Yamal can't keep it in over that far side. Throughout the tournament, the stars of stage and screen and sports are in attendance tonight. Javier Bardem in his Spanish top. Watching on from the stands, here's Upamecano, finds Jules Koundé, a bit of space on the right-hand side for the Barcelona man. Dembele, Rabiot. Elise. On the right again for Ousmane Dembele. Trying to shake off the attentions of Alex Baena, who's going to have to do a lot of that this evening. Deep cross towards the back post. Barcola takes it down in the penalty area. Marshall for the moment by Porro. Wider is Dean. Deeper is Tchouaméni. Diagonal ball into the mix. It's away by Laporte. And it bounces out of play for a throw-in. Didier Deschamps. Very difficult to read in these kind of stages of the game. Arms crossed on the edge of his technical area. Probably the toughest game, well, undoubtedly the toughest game they're playing at this tournament. Koundé forward to Elise. This pops up in a lot of unorthodox positions, says Michael Elise, and again that's a slightly overhit pass that Rabiot will just about rescue. It's back with Laporte, 6 yards outside the penalty area, inside his own half of the pitch. Ruiz. Back to Aymeric Laporte. Forward to Fabian Ruiz. He's allowed to turn there by Adrien Rabiot. Gets it wide to Cucurella, who has Alex Baena alongside him. Those two will be cross-city rivals in the coming season. Laporte. Ruiz. Cucurella, clever little run, just ghosted into a central channel. And Upamecano sensed it, watched it, came across and got his body between Cucurella and the ball. It's a clever idea from Marc Cucurella. 2 assists so far in the tournament. It's more than anyone else in the Spanish 11. So difficult to track those runs on the inside channels. When the fullback steps in from a wide position and almost swaps out with the winger Alex Baena. It's Koundé, and there's Cucurella back doing his defensive duties on the halfway line. In by Koundé to Upamecano. Cross to William Saliba. Saliba wide to Luca Digne. Barcola. Dean continued his run past Bradley Barcola, but bounced back off the PSG winger for a Spanish throw-in. Approaching the 20th minute now in Dallas. Still no goals in this first semi-final of the tournament. Reminder, you're listening to independent studio-based commentary. Wherever you are listening to this from, if you have the ability to do so, I'm sure you watch along your local, regional, national TV broadcasters or online via streaming if possible. You can always tune in to us to talk you through the game as Marc Cucurella has space on the left-hand side. High ball hung towards the back post, too high for Oyarzabal. Yamal goes down in Luca Digne and he points to the penalty spot. There's the referee. A shake of the head from the Aston Villa man. Despair from Didier Deschamps. Luca Digne didn't know he was there. It bounced up in front of him, Luca Digne. He got a head to the ball. Lamine Yamal was charging in to try and get on the end of it. Luca Digne pirouetting, pivoting, tries to volley it away. It's off Lamine Yamal's back. He's only kicked him in the thigh there. It's a Stonewall penalty. Tomasz Kwiatkowski is the VAR. The only question really is over handball. Lamine Yamal's arm is pinned next to his body. There's no clear and obvious error for me here. And it looks like Spain with a gilt-edged chance to take the lead in the semi-final. Well, the French surrounding the referee, Kylian Mbappe, in his role as captain, just debating the decision with Yvan Barton. Mike Maignan has been told to get back to his line. Now Salvadorian referee is trying to clear the penalty area. It's Mikel Oyarzabal with the ball in his hands. Mike Maignan trying the mind games. Hasn't missed any of his last 5 penalties for club and country, Oyarzabal. Maignan still not on his line. He's got a decent record. The AC Milan goalkeeper saves approximately 31% of the penalties he faces in league football. Will he save this, though, from Mikel Oyarzabal for his 5th goal of the tournament? And he does, he tucks it home. Sends it to the left of the goalkeeper, and France trail for the first time in this tournament. He made no mistake, as you suspected he wouldn't, Mikel Oyarzabal. Didier Deschamps can protest the decision as much as he wants, but it's Luca Digne who was caught out by Lamine Yamal. Brilliant finish as well from Oyarzabal. Drills it into the side netting. Maignan has no chance of getting there. Guesses the right way, but the pace that it's hit at leaves the Frenchman with absolutely no opportunity to get fingertips to it. And Luis de la Fuente will allow himself a celebration. It's France 0, Spain 1 in the semi-finals. There's already French tears in the crowd. There is a long, long way to go. But first blood belongs to La Roja. They have a superb defensive record at this tournament, Spain. France, the most potent attack of all so far. And the hydration break, you suspect, comes at the perfect moment for Didier Deschamps, as Yvan Barton waved the players over to the touchline. Congratulations to Mikel Oyarzabal from Crystal Palace's Jeremy Pino there. Kylian Mbappe will wander across to join his shell-shocked colleagues. Carnival atmosphere in Dallas, but it's not a Paris party. It's a real fiesta here after 24 minutes. Fascinating moment as well. We haven't seen too many times throughout the course of this tournament where teams have scored just before this moment. This tends to disrupt the momentum, give the side that are on the back foot a little a boost. The opportunity for the managers to get their team across, identify what's been causing them problems, and maybe find some solutions. It was a really innocuous ball initially. It's the lack of awareness from Luca Digne that's caused them problems. The side packed full of talent from some of the biggest clubs in world football, the likes of Bayern Munich, represented by Upamecano and Elise, AC Milan in Maignan, Saliba at the Premier League champions Arsenal, Koundé with Barcelona, Dembele, double Champions League winner and Ballon d'Or winner. Luca Digne does stand out in the fact that he is the atmosphere in Dallas looks tense from a French perspective. An opportunity for Spain here. You have to say that France came into this game tipped as favourites, but Spain have been a major thorn in their sides. You have to think back to, though, 20 years ago, in the round of 16 in Germany in 2006. What happened in that game? Well, France trailed, came from behind to win 3-1 in that knockout encounter, the only previous encounter in this particular tournament. Of course, they were up against each other in the European Championships. As Rabiot lays it off, moved to the penalty area to the left-hand side. Dean will be trying to make amends, and Tchouaméni tries to find him. Pedro Porro takes it away, looking for Oyarzabal. There's Rabiot. That bounces off of the retreating Digne for a Spanish throw-in. Pedro Porro to go and pick it up. First to identify Luca Digne and Aston Villa as a potential weak point in the French side due to his club. I may say that Pedro Porro playing his football at Tottenham would receive the same sort of analysis. Almost relegated last season, wasn't he, Pedro Porro, at Spurs? There was no Spanish player around him. And Maxence Lacroix is immediately set off down the touchline, warming up. That's a major concern for Didier Deschamps. He has been struggling with a back injury, William Saliba. Maxence Lacroix was on standby initially, and then started the game against Norway when William Saliba's back flared up. And he could be set for a semi-final appearance. Brilliant player, Lacroix. Crucial part of that Crystal Palace team that, in their first 3 trophies in their history, the FA Cup, Conference League and Community Shield as well. And Saliba is wandering off towards the touchline. I think we're set for an early change here. Looks very dejected, William Saliba, and there's confirmation come through on our screens. Off goes the French number 17, William Saliba. And on comes Maxence Lacroix. A high five for William Saliba. And on comes Lacroix. What a way to make your entrance. As we mentioned, against Norway, against Erling Haaland's side earlier on in the tournament. This one, a little bit more pressure on it. Looked massively innocuous, William Saliba. Just taken a touch inside his own half under no pressure at all, and just felt something twinge in his back. Elise, brilliant skill down the right-hand side, and Marc Cucurella just bundles him over the touchline. He's going to be shown the yellow card. Initially suspected that there might have been a foul by Cucurella. Does have a bit of a feisty side to it. It's going to be a set piece for France. Midway through the Spanish half, down this right-hand side, right under the nose of Luis de la Fuente, Ousmane Dembele has the ball spotted up. He's ready to deliver this. Dembele, flat ball, straight to Unai Simon. Too close to the goalkeeper. Whisper it quietly. France have not been particularly threatening in this game so far. Over half an hour gone. Too many chances to speak of for either side, to be honest. A soft look at by Pau Cubarsí, who wins the throw-in. Pedro Porro is going to take it near the halfway line. Into Fabian Ruiz. Porro. Cubarsí to Unai Simon. Towards Sabal. Powerful header away by Maxence Lacroix. Dani Olmo picks up the pieces, takes it away from Michael Olise. Now here's Alex Baena on the left-hand side, trying to step away from Jules Koundé into the centre of the park for Rodri. Rodri for Porro. Porro back to Rodri. Rodri into the middle for Baena. Can't get past Rabiot, who held him up well, but that's given away. It's Fabian Ruiz, who just gets his body in front of Michael Olise. Here's Cucurella. Laporte. Rodri. Laporte. Olmo, left-hand side. Koundé with his hands full. Olmo finds Cucurella. Tries to play it back across. Olmo pokes it away from Koundé. Upamecano uses his body well, shielding it near the corner flag. It's out for a Spanish throw. Looked a little racket here, the French. Spain have noticed it too. They're trying to exploit this flummoxed French performance. Maybe pick up a second. Here's Dani Olmo, edge of the penalty area. Olmo from range. That one was wild from the Barcelona man. Does have the ability to finish from those kind of distances. Rabiot. Coutinho forward. Elise. Dembele. That's a good stop by Cubarsí. Ball couldn't make its way through to Barca. It is Fabian Ruiz linking up with Oyarzabal. By Aymeric Laporte to Unai Simon. A couple of steps away from the penalty spot in his own penalty area. A long ball straight down the middle. Alex Baena just handed off. Upamecano. Has he gone down? The flag goes up. He was on his way towards goal there, Alex Baena. Ball bounced away. Let's have a little look. Yes, he's in an offside position. Was clever from Alex Baena, just trying to ghost in. Past Dayot Upamecano. There was no appeal as well from Baena as he was taken down by Mike Maignan. I think he probably knew that he was in an offside position as that ball was played over the top. A nail-biting, nervous energy from Didier Deschamps. His long-term collaborator Guy Stoffon alongside him. Took charge of the game earlier in the tournament. Didier Deschamps returns home after the death of his mother. It's a long ball forward again for Alex Baena. Jules Koundé it was. Baena felt his shirt was pulled there. Koundé. Chouameni. Here's a dilemma for France. They have to chase an equaliser. It is early in the game. in the grand scheme of things. They will leave space in behind for Spain. The difference between this Spanish side and this French side is Lamine Yamal's side. It's not a front line packed with pace. It might change though. Do have options on the bench that could further exploit space that will be left in behind by France. But here's Dembele trying to do the opposite to Spain. Barcola on the left-hand side. Trapped by Porro. Barcola, edge of the box. Tries to go himself. That's over the crossbar. Not sure that's probably the right choice. Luca Digne made the run down the outside. Taking the defender away. Never really settled there, Bradley Barcola. And Mbappe and others in the penalty area waiting for the ball. Oyarzabal, lovely little back heel, finds Dani Olmo. Now here's Fabian Ruiz to the onrushing Cucurella. Baena. Tracking inside Alex Baena. Oyarzabal's diagonal run ignored for the time being. Fabian Ruiz just wanders away from Michael Olise. Little body fake. Dani Olmo now tries to bundle his way through. Pops out to Fabian Ruiz. Pedro Porro from distance. And a grimace on the face of the Tottenham Hotspur fullback. And eventually they committed a body towards Spanish player, the French. Something just doesn't seem right about this France side so far. Plenty of time to fix it. That's a heavy touch from Mike Maignan. It's given straight to Alex Baena. Now Rodri. Lamine Yamal. Little back heel for Olmo. Round the corner. Lamine Yamal tries to set it up. Oh! So close. Brilliant defending from Dayot Upamecano. Would have been one of the best team goals we've seen in this tournament. Unsettled by the pressure, Mike Maignan initially. That's where the chance comes from. Baena to Rodri. Brilliant back heel from Yamal. And Dani Olmo replies with one of his own. Back to Lamine Yamal. The two Barcelona players linking up, and it's so close to a second for Spain. But for the interventions of Dayot Upamecano, will be a corner. Maignan at his mercy, or so it seemed. Baena towards the near post. It's up but not away by Maxence Lacroix. Off the head of Rabiot. Picked up by Fabian Ruiz. Now on this left-hand side. Lifts one towards the back post. It's deep and maybe too deep. Baena scampering off after it. Will keep it in play. Finds Lamine Yamal. Yamal with a little quick turn of pace. And he's fouled Luca Digne. Tried to squeeze through a tight gap there. Ball closing his face by combination of Bradley Barcola and Luca Digne. Free kick taken short by Lacroix. To Maignan. On towards Koundé, who's further forward than anyone else. Cucurella up towards the halfway line. There's Upamecano, who's just filled in the right back for the time being. Ball bouncing around Oyarzabal. Now Dani Olmo latches onto it. Three around him. He was always going to lose that battle. Slide challenge came in from Rodri. Just unsettling Michael Olise there. Steps up with a frown on his face. Scissoring action from Rodri. Digne. Back to Lacroix. Turn away from Oyarzabal. Back to Digne. Forward. Mbappe. He's been isolated. And he came back from an offside position to get on the end of that pass. Assistant referees today, David Moran and Antonio Pupiro. El Salvador and Nicaragua. Olmo. Laporte. He's back towards his goalkeeper. He's going to have to travel a long way to get on the end of it. Unai Simon releases the ball from the byline. Koundé tried to force it forward to Mbappe for maybe another speculative effort at goal, but there's a defender in the way. And straight forward over the top. Mbappe takes it down on the edge of the penalty area, right-hand side, and again the flag goes up. That one looked tighter. It is. May well be onside, you know. It's just touched right and takes it towards goal rather than backwards. Might have been one that officials may have looked back on. Ruiz. Cucurella. Laporte. Ruiz. Laporte. Some space on the left-hand side for Cucurella. Laporte just assessing his options. Oyarzabal. Rodri. Ruiz. Lamine Yamal wants it. No space in behind Luca Digne, who will nod this one back to Mike Maignan. France have had a single shot on target so far. To be fair, Spain have only had one. That's the one for the penalty. Maignan up to the left-hand side, picked on by Luca Digne. That's nice play. Barcola turn around the corner. Unai Simon, good starting position, quick off his line, sliding in with Kylian Mbappe. Fantastic goalkeeping. A step or two further backwards. And he's got Kylian Mbappe bearing down on him with no defensive support. They may well have checked it for offside, you never know. But Unai Simon, who earlier was almost caught. It's brave goalkeeping. And super effective. There's going to be a corner for France here. Elise, the outswinger towards the back post. Cucurella got sucked underneath it. Here's Koundé on the edge of the penalty area, back towards the back region. Simon didn't take it. Well, they've got to play it down, Spain. The referee's going to blow the whistle. It's Aymeric Laporte holding the back of his head. Slightly worrying moment. Upamecano didn't challenge for it. Yeah, Darbal did. He took it out of his goalkeeper's hands, but it's all smiles between the two. Not sure they would have been quite so friendly if that one had ended up in the back of the net. As it stands, 43 minutes gone, it's France 0, Spain 1. It's going to be an uncontested drop for ball. Out on that left-hand side, here's Dembele, followed by Olmo. That's going to be a foul. And Fabian Ruiz can't believe it. It's a quite conspicuous reaction. And Rodri immediately in the referee's ear. Spain feel this is a simulation. Oh, yeah, it is. Fabian Ruiz flicks his boot towards it as Dembele is falling into him. Almost jabs his 2 feet into the ground. I have a feeling the referee's just been informed by Tomasz Kwiatkowski that there was no contact with Fabian Ruiz. Here's Yamal across to Cucurella. Towards the edge of the box. Straight against Rabiot. Now Elise is running Cucurella. And it's the retreating figure of Alex Baena that gets it away from the Bayern Munich man. Here's Laporte, Cucurella, Fabian Ruiz. I'm not sure that's exactly how the rules are meant to be applied, by the way, from the referee and VAR, but it's the right decision anyway. A couple of those moments throughout the tournament where some eyebrows have been raised. I suspect if Fabian Ruiz had received a booking, they may well have used the mistaken identity rule, like they did against Brielle Embolo in that quarter-final match between Switzerland and Argentina. That saw him receive a second yellow card. I'm not sure it's as much as simulation from Ousmane Dembele. It's been a firm challenge, shall we say, from Adrien Rabiot on Fabian Ruiz. Laporte. There's Kubasi between the lines for Rodri. Lamine Yamal on the far side. Looking for Baena. Almost got there in front of Upamecano, but here he is again. On the right-hand side for Elise. Cucurella needs support. He's gesturing at Olmo to get back in and help him out. It's a heavy touch from Ousmane Dembele. And clumsy from Jules Koundé, but forced them into that sort of challenge, this Spain. Elise starting to pick up a bit more time and space on the ball. It's the players around him that have let him down, though. It's Kubasi. It's on a play on the far side. And by Lucadinha. Lacroix. Right-hand side is Koundé. Flashed across the penalty area. Not too far away from Mbappe. Kept alive on the far side by Barcola. It was a good ball from Koundé. Could get better for France here. Here's Dembele. Heavy touch takes it behind him. Tchouaméni to Dembele. Digne. Rabiot looks offside. Lifted towards the back post. There is Koundé, and now the flag goes up. Well, the referee spotted it. He didn't really wait for the assistant referee. It's a brilliant ball from Jules Koundé. Just couldn't quite arrive in time, Kylian Mbappe. Orange are at time, 6 minutes of it at the end of this first half in Dallas. Not been free-flowing or fluent attacking football, but it's been one you can't take your eyes off of. Long from Simon, little flick on to Lamine Yamal, tries to go round the outside of Lucadinha. He gets it away. Rodri. Given away to Rabiot. Just comes Laporte. Rodri. Brilliant defending from Aymeric Laporte. Had to win that. With 4 blue shirts thundering towards his goal. Unai Simon. Too casual to Fabian Ruiz. It's Tchouaméni that picks it up. Elise. Tchouaméni. Upamecano. Lacroix. Lucadinha. Barcola. Lacroix. Koundé. Foul by Alex Baena. Hack at the ball there. Free kick from just a couple of steps away from the halfway line on this right-hand side for France. They need something. Need to build on before half-time. Dembele. Just laid off by Rodri. Forward by Porro. Picked up by Olmo. Now Rodri again. Back to the edge of the penalty area. Kubasi for Unai Simon. Lifts it away left-footed. Koundé favourite to win that. Not it towards Elise. Baena will cut that one off. Away by Aymeric Laporte, and Upamecano let it bounce. Oyarzabal is on his heels. To Maignan. Lacroix. Upamecano. Koundé. Elise, little drop of the shoulder. He won't catch up with the ball before it rolls out of play. It does go out of play, but not for the French throw that Michael Elise, for the Spanish throw that Marc Cucurella was expecting. Michael Elise not happy with the fact that they're allowed to take the free kick, throw in quickly. Back underway though, Koundé back into play. Now Across from Upamecano to the choir, into the centre circle. Left-hand side now is Bradley Barcola. Mbappe edge of the box, past Olmo. Ran into Rodri, and the cross from Dean was straight against Rodri. Time for the throw-in on the left-hand side. Last 20 seconds of the first half. Gardenia taking his time to get it back into play. It's backwards. Here's Maxence Lacroix. Square to Koundé. Right-hand side is Elise. We've played the 6 minutes of added time. Here's Dembele called to the penalty area. Tried to get his cross or shot away. Really sliced across the back of the ball. It's had a play for a goal kick. An embrace from Marco Correa and a whistle from the referee, Ivan Barton. A cagey first half, but it's Mekahi Oyarzábal's penalty that's given Spain the lead, and France trail for the first time in the tournament. They've not been at the races, they've not been the France we've come to know and enjoy their football of throughout this entire summer. Something needs to change from Didier Deschamps' side if they are to qualify for the grand finale on Sunday, because at the moment Spain, they look comfortable. Mbappe's been quiet, Elise's been frustrated, and Spain, well, they have pole position at the moment at half-time in Dallas in this semi-final. It's the Spanish that have extended the lead. It's France 0, Spain 1. Join us for 15 minutes time for the second half live.
Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page.
Welcome back. The second half about to get underway. Both teams back out on the pitch in Dallas. There's going to be a change for France as well. Manu Kone looks like he's going to replace Adrien Rabiot at the start of this second half. It was a disappointing first 45 minutes from the French, the favourites for the title of the tournament. Two sides separated by Michael Oyarzabal with that penalty early on. France have really struggled to make any inroads against a Spanish defence that have been very miserly throughout the tournament. And confirmation of that change that Manu Kone of Roma has replaced the Adrien Rabiot's on a booking at the start of this second half. Well, they have to get better, France, because if they keep up those performance levels from the first half, they are heading towards a third place playoff rather than the final that they came here for. Reminder, you are listening to unofficial, independent, studio-based commentary of this semi-final. And if you are able to, wherever you're joining us from, make sure you can watch on your local, regional or national television broadcasters or streamers. Keep our audio commentary on alongside. At the moment, it's France with the ball in their half of the pitch. They've swapped ends. It's France playing from right to left, Spain from left to right. It's not been a classic so far. It's not really lived up to the billing. Surely that comes from the mutual respect that both of these two sides have for each other. I'll run you through the two teams as well. Mike Maignan in goal for France. Lucas Digne at left back. Jules Koundé at right back. There's a change in the two centre-backs. William Saliba limped off in that first half to replace by Maxence Lacroix. He's alongside Dayot Upamecano. Two in midfield, Manu Kone and Aurélien Tchouameni. Barcola, Elise, Dembele and Kylian Mbappe have been far from their fluent best. In fact, Kylian Mbappe touched the ball just 15 times in that first half. For Spain, Unai Simon in goal. Back four of Pedro Porro, Pau Cubarsí, Aymeric Laporte and Marc Cucurella, who was shown a yellow card, the only Spanish player to be added to Ivan Barton's notebook. Captain Rodri alongside Fabian Ruiz in midfield. As Lamine Yamal tries to find Oyarzabal. Yamal on the right-hand side, Alex Baena on the left. Dani Olmo in the number 10 role. Michael Oyarzabal. Penalty, his fifth goal of the tournament. It's Koundé forward, Elise. Cucurella needs to be careful here. And does really well. Just guides him towards Aymeric Laporte. Baena. Back to Laporte. Now Simon. Away. Cucurella. Forward to Olmo. Upamecano with the final touch. That'll be a throw on the far side. A few seats opposite still filling up. There's those who have paid the ultimate premium to be here. The most expensive seats of the stadium. I'll take as much advantage of the free food and drink in this modern glittering arena. It's one of the grounds where we've seen the roof closed, the air conditioning on. It's not at the mercy of the Texas summer heat. The performance levels have been a little bit sluggish. A bit late there, Fabian Ruiz on Dayot Upamecano. He wagged his finger at the referee to suggest he pulled his foot away in time. I think he did, you know. Have a look at the replay. It's actually his standing leg that just slips out from underneath him. He did catch Upamecano. No foul from Rodri. Oyarzabal down the line for Lamine Yamal. Inside it goes to Pedro Porro. Now Rodri. Played off to Aymeric Laporte. Cubarsí. Porro. Yamal. Oyarzabal. Yamal. Trying to escape Barcola. Felt he was caught there. Barcola protested his innocence immediately, and the referee allowed them to continue here. France, Elise, Mbappe tried to find Barcola. It was Cubarsí in the way. Now Ruiz. He does steady the ship alongside Rodri in that Spanish engine room. Pedri will feel a little bit aggrieved that he hasn't started today, but you can understand considering the attacking talents and passing quality that France have. Tharbal's gone down holding his neck. It's been spotted by the referee. Maxence Lacroix was the man closest to him. He's been given as a foul, I think, on Oyarzabal from Maxence Lacroix. Just bumps into him. A whiplash from Oyarzabal. There was contact earlier from Barcola on Lamine Yamal. Slight step of the toe. Not much more than that. Well, the second Spanish goal would really put the cat amongst the pigeons. As we said, chances have been at a premium as Lamine Yamal just goes in behind Lacroix. Yamal denied by Maignan, and he was offside anyway, Lamine Yamal. Well, so many stars have certainly come to light at this tournament. Lamine Yamal really hasn't exploded as we have seen so often on the international stage. This might be the game for him. Maybe even Sunday. Olmo was stretching, couldn't get on the end of it, but Lucas Digne has given it away. Here's Porro for Dani Olmo. Yamal, Rodri, Ubasi, Ruiz, Cucurella. Left-hand side now for Alex Baena. Koundé retreating, Baena, edge of the box. There's Oyarzabal. The flick to Dani Olmo didn't quite work, still made room for his shot. Once again, France slow to close down. Eventually it's Maxence Lacroix that gets across and making sure that's over the crossbar. There was a touch off Maxence Lacroix, but just hurried him a little bit. There's no width down the right, on either flank. I hate to describe it as such, but the likes of Olise, Barker can at times be luxury players. They don't offer too much protection in front of Lucas Digne and Jules Koundé. That means that Manu Kone and Aurelien Tchouameni have to do a lot of defending, which leaves a big space in the middle of the park. No one to carry the ball, no one to drive at that Spanish defence from central positions. That's something that Spain certainly do have. There's a good balance of it as well. Rodri, who's brilliant at reading the game, breaking things up and distributing, but also Fabian Ruiz, who can do a bit of everything. Here's Lamine Yamal, lovely turn away from Lucas Digne. Barcola it is getting back, and it's a good challenge just to knock him off balance. Right, Maignan had to scramble as the pass back from Upamecano was a little bit loose. That's away by Maignan. Met in the centre circle by Rodri. Out to Cucurella on the far side. Tchouameni wins the throw-in. It's by Upamecano to the goalkeeper. Maxence Lacroix off Crystal Palace. One of three Crystal Palace players in these two squads represented this evening. I thought they had 13 players in the tournament. A representation in 3 of the final 4 teams in the World Cup. The international pinnacle of sport. Olise, a little back heel to Barcola. Kylian Mbappe. Kone moves it on. Here's Tchouameni of Real Madrid. Dembele tried to return past to Jules Koundé, just caught on his heels a little bit there. Mind you, you're listening to independent studio-based commentary. This global showpiece event. Porro bounces up and hits Maxence Lacroix. Takes control of it. It's Michael Olise. Tchouameni. Upamecano. On the right-hand side is Jules Koundé. Just lost his footing there. Alex Baena was in close attendance. Comes away with it. It's broken down. Olmo went one way, the ball went the other. Is Elise. Barcola, left-hand side of the penalty area, steps into the box. Bradley Barcola. Pedro Porro just gets across him and allows Unai Simon to pounce on that one. Well, he's got really good reactions, Unai Simon. And his starting position is so often absolutely perfect. That, again, is just what was required from Unai Simon. That certainly wasn't from Upamecano. A little nibble on Alex Baena. France are about to make their third change of the game. It's Desiree Doué who's about to come on. He was replaced by Bradley Barcola in the starting 11 this evening, but it's an experiment that hasn't really worked out. Oh, there is that pass from Kone looking for Mbappe. Picked up by Unai Simon. And ball to the feet of the two teenagers in this Spain 11. Oh, Kubasi, now Olmo, a bit more experienced. Oh yeah, Thabal, lovely turn in front of Upamecano. Yamal, Rodri, space out on that left-hand side. Cucurella getting forward. Fabian Ruiz tries to switch ball. Actually tried to just lift it into the path of Oyarzabal. They've tried to put it into the box early when he's got a winning runner down the outside in the form of Marc Cucurella. Well, Barcola goes off and Desiree Doué comes on. It's just a 14th cap for Desiree Doué. It was a bit of a shock not to see him in the starting 11. The success Didier Deschamps has had in his 14 years as the French national team boss. Who are we to question his selection? Drew the penalty against Morocco and then slid Mbappe in for the opening goal as well. Desiree Doué, many said he was their best attacker that day in the last 8. All right. Laporte. Olmo on the half turn between the lines, runners in front of him. Dani Olmo allowed to continue to Alex Baena on the left-hand side. Shifted onto his right. Baena drives that straight at Koundé. Keeps the ball moving though. Here's Rodri. Fist towards the back post towards Lamine Yamal. Headed away by Luca Digne. Drops here to Fabian Ruiz. To his right for Pedro Porro. Porro. Olmo. Little layoff. Maybe a chance. Pedro Porro! It's through Maignan, and it's 2-0 Spain, and it's a brilliantly worked goal. Out of everyone in this Spanish side, you wouldn't have put your money on Pedro Porro popping up in that position, but it's perfectly placed past Mike Maignan. And where have we seen this before? France trail by 2 after a little bit less than an hour. That hill to climb just got a little steeper. It's brilliant from Olmo initially. Just bounces off Dani Olmo, played in by Pedro Porro, who follows his path in. Dayot Upamecano pauses briefly to appeal his innocence. Maxence Lacroix is left hopelessly out of position, and Pedro Porro has the time and space to take a touch, pick his spot and place it past Maignan. It's only his second international goal. His first, well, that came 12 days ago against Austria. Now France have it all to do. Fabian Ruiz, well, he can't make it worse for them. But the warning signs have been there for France. They've been in this position. Mike Maignan took a chance there on the pressure from Oyarzabal. He's got the advantage though as France move it on. Well, a reminder, 4 years ago in Lusail, France were awful for an hour, 2-0 down against Argentina, and forced it to extra time and almost won it and lifted the whole thing. But for a Lionel Messi hat-trick. The ball in behind, it's Lamine Yamal that could make it 3. Lamine Yamal tries to sort his feet out. Oh, he's done it! It's offside! A lucky escape for the French. The assistant referee with his flag up on the near side. Lamine Yamal with his finger up wagging. He doesn't agree with this. They've restarted the game almost immediately. Fabian Ruiz playing the ball onto Rodri, but France are all at sea. He turned 19 yesterday, Lamine Yamal. Let's have a look at the replay. Oh, it's so tight. It's so tight. It's a really good spot from the assistant referee on this near side. Kept his composure, Lamine Yamal, and a brilliant finish. It was rattled into the top corner. But it won't count. And France still alive, just about, in this semi-final. Upamecano forward to Olise. Tries to feed it down the line for Koundé. He can't handle the pass. It will be a Spanish throw-in. Unai Simon long. Back into the Spanish half by Lacroix. Olise's been bundled off the ball. It's Marc Cucurella. Back with Aymeric Laporte. Pedro Porro, scorer off the second. Rodri, Laporte. Put it in these terms, 63 minutes on the clock. France still to register a single shot on target. Just 2 shots in total so far. Porro forward to Yamal, lovely back heel, back to Pedro Porro. He wants it back here, Lamine Yamal. Olmo in the middle of the park. To twist away. Back, and here's Mbappe. Still going. Draws Unai Simon into a save at his near post. First save we had to make for a long time, and I think this is probably a cross from Kylian Mbappe. Might be sneaking in there, though. Can Olise get this right? He'll take it short. And Dembele, Luca Digne. That's drilled against Pedro Porro. Momentarily switching off there, the Spanish defence. "25 minutes to play. Spain with a 2-goal lead. France chasing the game now. Olise with the outswinger towards the near post. Flicked over the crossbar for the heel of Aurélien Tchouameni. Tried to improvise the finish. Dani Olmo. Into traffic in the centre circle. Here's Rodri. Makes the free kick short to his right-hand side. It's given away by Spain. They struggle to stick or twist here. Maignan. Tchouameni. Lacroix. Kone. Little back heel. Oh, it's got in each other's way there, Kone and Lacroix, but it's Kone with the ball. Back to Maignan. Now Maxence Lacroix. Here to Luca Digne. Digne for Doué. Doué for Tchouameni. Right-hand side now for Koundé. Koundé down the line for Elise. In fact, it's Ousmane Dembélé. Stepping off the touchline. Mbappe in a central position. Lays it off to Kone. Kone to Doué. Looking for Luca Digne, sliding in Pedro Porro. That'll be a throw-in for France. Désiré Doué receives it from Luca Digne. Tchouameni just outside the centre circle. Wide it is Dembélé, but quite narrow here, France. To Mbappe, edge of the box, gets his shot away. Deflected wide. That'll be a corner. First time he's seen any space, and it's a brilliant intervention from Marc Cucurella. Taken short again by Elise. It's back with him. Laid off to Luca Digne. Elise. Doué. From a long way out. Too many bodies between him and the goal, but it's back to him. Back heel, Elise. Down the outside now is Luca Digne towards the back post. Unai Simon could watch that all the way into his gloves and releases early. Maignan came a long way and wins it with his head. Wants it forward down the line for Michael Elise, because Lamine Yamal might have got on the end of that. If that starting position for Mike Maignan was right, if he made a meal of the header. Switch out to the right-hand side for Kylian Mbappe, but the offside flag is up. According to the statistics, he drove down that left-hand side and Unai Simon shoveled it round the post. That was recorded as a cross. So, officially, France still waiting for their first shot on target. Olmo, Fabian Ruiz. There's Alex Baena. Ruiz, Baena. Ruiz, Baena was caught off the ball. Yvan Barton, happy for them to continue as Alex Baena hauls himself back to his feet. Laporte for Ruiz. Aymeric Laporte, and this time he is caught again, Alex Baena, the same player, Jules Koundé. You could just feel French frustration now. Clever from Alex Baena. Got his body in front of Jules Koundé. It's the last chance for Didier Deschamps to have a word with his players. It's the second hydration break of the game. And a good chance for us to remind you, listening to unofficial, independent, studio-based commentary. The game is available wherever you are. Make sure you're tuned in and watching along to what is a fascinating battle. But currently France are losing by 2-0. 20 minutes remaining. At the moment, it does seem like a battle of a team of very talented individuals against a proper bedded-in team who know how to play with each other. The European champions leading the favourites, Luis de la Fuente, concentrated, focused as he dishes out the instructions to the 11 players around him. Importantly as well, they still have all 5 changes to make. Before the match, Patrick Vieira, World Cup winner for France, European champion for France, said that Spain would have to play 12 out of 10 to beat France this evening. Well, it's been France who have played well below their level. Spain have been good, they've been solid, they've been well organised, but it's been made easy for them. And the changes are incoming. Rayan Cherki stripped off and ready to come on. Theo Hernandez as well. Looks like he's going to replace Jules Koundé. Maybe even Luca Digne. Well, something has to change for France if they are to hold any aspirations of reaching the final and making history. It is going to be Theo Hernandez. Didier Deschamps rolling the dice here with less than 20 minutes of the 90 remaining, plus whatever the officials add on. Michael Olise, a rare quiet night for him. He'll be replaced by Rayan Cherki, and it is Luca Digne who gave away the penalty for the opener, who goes off, who was caught out of position for Pedro Porro's second. Hernandez will get forward a little bit more. He has to. And Rayan Cherki, a bit of magic. He says he really hates that modern data-driven football. Quote attributed to him says, robots are good, but magic is better. Can he produce something special? Can he sprinkle a little bit of fairy dust on this game? Heaven knows France need him to do so now. Lacroix. Kone. Laid off to Upamecano. Dembele. Upamecano. Across to Maxence Lacroix. Mbappe turns in front of Kouassi. To his left for Desiré Doué. Cross blocked by Pedro Porro. And then hooked away by Fabian Ruiz from the edge of the penalty area. Oyarzabal gets there in front of Upamecano. Kept in play on the near side by Lamine Yamal. Spain preparing a change. It's Ferran Torres who's about to come on. And it's for Mikel Oyarzabal. A straight stop up front. The finish line is in sight now. Can Ferran Torres help steer them past the checkered flag? And straight into the thick of things, Ferran Torres. And fouled by Lamine Yamal, but he's in an offside position. It's the first Spanish change of the evening, can you believe? All 5 changes now made by France. Koundé goes down, ran into Boyena. Referee not impressed. Here's Cherki for Lacroix. Now with Doué. On this left-hand side for France. Reaches past Jamal, next up is Porro, tries to clip it into a area for Mbappe to try and get on the end of, but even the fleet-footed Kylian Mbappe won't get on the end of that pass. Lofted away by Aymeric Laporte. Maignan. Here's Theo Hernandez. Chouameni. Maxence Lacroix. Upamecano. Chouameni. Kone. Mbappe. Can turn near halfway. Followed by Lamine Yamal. Tries to slide in and win it back. That's going to be a foul. And a free kick. First time he's really been able to accelerate away. An apology from Lamine Yamal. Just mistimed the challenge. Didier Deschamps. Right in the ear of Glenn Nyberg, the fourth official. He wants a booking for the teenager there, and you can see that's why I think he's probably taking the risk there, Lamine Yamal, that he knew he was going to bring him down at the very least and stop the momentum. A set piece for France here on the left-hand side, 30 yards from goal, very wide though. Will it be Cherki? No, it'll be Dembele, right-footed. A decent delivery from the 6-yard line. Rodri got his head to it, but the referee blows the whistle, and that'll be a free kick for Spain from 6 yards. A foul by Maxence Lacroix. He's getting ever more frustrated every time the camera cuts to him, Didier Deschamps. No longer on his seat. He's right at the edge of his technical area. 2 more changes for Spain. And we're going to see Mikel Merino and Pedri come on. Dani Olmo wandering towards the touchline. Mikel Merino has scored both the goals that took Spain to this stage, and Fabian Ruiz is also going to be replaced. It's a 50th cap for Mikel Merino. And the Spanish newspapers have dubbed him San Marino, Saint Marino, play on words after his exploits against Portugal and then Belgium. Only 2 games before this. Here is Pedri's first involvement. In fact, it's Mikel Merino. Pedri to his left. Baena in towards Ferran Torres. It's just his second touch, and it's so close to putting the game to bed for Spain. Rodri. Cucurella, left-hand side, 10 yards inside French territory. Just over the border, you might say. Cucurella backwards. All the way back to Unai Simon. Long ball forward, looking for Ferran Torres. Can't go the heads. It's Upamecano that rises highest over Merino. That'll be a foul on Kone, though. Ivan Bartone blowing the whistle. France playing it short. It's Cherki. Lacroix, edge of the centre circle. Back to him by Koundé. Upamecano. Desiree Doué. Back of Porro. Theo Hernandez into the 6-yard box, but it's straight into the arms of Unai Simon. What was noticeable, there was no one in the box really, bar Kylian Mbappe at the back post. And he's head down, Theo Hernandez, expecting someone to be busting a gut to get on the end of it. Here's Merino. Pedri. Koundé across. It's his club colleague for a throw-in. Still lacking that urgency, France. And Cherki just runs straight into Cucurella. There's Pedri. Here he comes again, Rayan Cherki. Too much on that pass for Dembele to handle. Shake of the head from the French fans. Sometimes there's a sense that things aren't going to go your way. It's a feeling that's been growing. And as we enter the final 10 minutes of the 90, it's a feeling that's starting to pervade around this ground. And by Cucurella to Ferran Torres. It's off the Barcelona forward for a French throw-in. Koundé takes the ball out of the hands of Tchouaméni. In by Koundé. Cherki, ball over the top. Keeper came a long way. Unai Simon gets his header to it. Desiré Doué lines things up. Simon was outside the box, but he got himself in line and stopped Doué's effort. It took a bit of time on it, Doué. For a moment, France couldn't believe their luck. But Unai Simon, who's been in that position all evening, did so well initially, and then to recover and get in the way of Doué's effort. Here he is again, Desiré Doué, sliding in Porro. It's a French throw. It's in by Doué. Porro stays down. Mbappe, France play on. Tchouaméni. Koundé. Low in towards the near post. Combination of Laporte and Kovacic, get it away somehow. Theo Hernandez. Porro hobbling. Hernandez, Unai Simon comes, and Unai Simon's been caught. Referee says it's a corner. Unai Simon's caught one in the face though. It's brave goalkeeping. Let's have a look at the replay. Sure, he's even been caught in the face, to be honest. He has to go for that, Theo Hernandez. Unai Simon not happy. Theo Hernandez did get there first. Considering bringing on Nico Williams. It won't be a corner, it won't be a goal kick. In fact, two changes. Marcos Llorente and Nico Williams both about to come on. And Pedro Porro is going to hobble off. This is Alex Baena. Final two changes for Spain. A big 7 minutes for them. Even bigger 7 minutes for the French. They are so close, Spain, to their first final in this tournament since when they won it 16 years ago. One from Simon. Got a one by Marino. Torres just brushed Theo Hernandez off the ball. A bit too aggressively, according to Yvan Barton. Lacroix. Koundé. Dembele. It's off Williams for a throw-in. Here's Manu Kone. Theo Hernandez. Back to Maxence Lacroix. France still struggling to conjure anything up. Cherki. Upamecano. Tchouameni. Theo Hernandez. Little back heel from Doué. Dembele's after it and will get there. Held up by Rodri, who concedes the foul. 5 minutes to go. Free kick on the left-hand side. Ousmane Dembele standing over it. Rayan Cherki will offer his services as well. Thought about taking it quickly, but waited for Upamecano to get up from the back. It's a really poor delivery from Ousmane Dembele. Barely got off the ground. Snapped away by Rodri. Ferran Torres, rather. Maignan meets it in the centre circle. Now Cherki. Drifting away from Pedri. Cherki trying to flick it over the top. And it's just guided back to the goalkeeper, Unai Simon, by Llorente and Kubasi. Unai Simon now tempting Kylian Mbappe. And that was silly from Mbappe. He's going to be shown a yellow card. Just tried to hurry him up. Oh, jabbed a leg towards him. It's unnecessary. He's pulled the foot away in time to make sure it's just a yellow card, but he knew exactly what he was doing there, Unai Simon, and he got exactly the reaction he wanted from the French captain. There has been no French resistance. There's been no fight back. They are so close to a place in the final. Spain, a trip to the northeast, to New Jersey, to face one of England or Argentina. Unless something quite remarkable happens in these next 3 minutes plus added time. Nico Williams threatening to burst past Tchouameni, who has to bust out the acrobatics to get that one clear. Dembele, now Cherki. Running through traffic. Dembele keeps it moving. Desiree Doué ran into Lamine Yamal. That'll be a free kick on the edge of the penalty area. Let's have a look at the replay. Yeah, it's right on the edge of the box. To say this probably has to go in some way, shape or form if France are to conjure up the most unlikely of comebacks. It is Mbappe standing over it. It looks like he wants to take this on himself. It's right on the edge of the box towards this near side, this left-hand side. Rayan Cherki's going to walk away. Kylian Mbappe, three in the wall. Mbappe drills it over the top. It's far too high. And that sums up France's evening. Cheers from the Spanish supporters. Further frowns furrowing the brows of the French. That's long from Unai Simon. Flicked on by Marino. Now Lamine Yamal. Dipping away from Theo Hernandez. Was he shoved there, Lamine Yamal? He's tumbled over the touchline. Referee says goal kick. He's being helped back to his feet by Theo Hernandez. Let's have a look at the replay. A couple of shoves. He's just stepped on his arm as he's gone to ground there, Lamine Yamal. Don't think it's a penalty. As they're coming together in the box. We're into the 90th minute now. Koundé. Kone bursting down the right-hand side. Doesn't have any support. There's no movement. There's no energy. Lacroix. Kone. Cherki. Hernandez, back heel, Dembele, Cherki tries to slide it through to Kylian Mbappe. Cucurella is the right man in the right place. Corner taken short by Dembele, Tudue. Dembele floats it towards the back post. That's away by Kubasi. Drops it to Koundé on the far side. We've played 90 minutes. Here's Kylian Mbappe. In towards the near post. Flicks off Laporte. Will play 7 minutes as a minimum more. Kone. Hernandez. Cherki. Kone all the way through. Simon was jumpy. Cucurella with the presence of mind to withdraw his head just in the nick of time, with his goalkeeper wandering off into no man's land. Long from Unai Simon, as far away from his goal as he can possibly get it. Pedri. Yamal. Pedri. Just holding the ball so well here, Spain. Llorente. Kubasi. Olé greets every Spanish pass now. Laporte. Koundé. Williams gets his toe to it. Now it'll drop to him. Merino. Far side. Pedri. Marcos Llorente. Here's Lamine Yamal. Little drop of the shoulder. Tries to have the beating of Theo Hernandez. Was there a shove? Assistant referee close to it. Not interested. It's Theo Hernandez back to Maxence Lacroix. Took a chance with a little turn away from Ferran Torres in his own penalty area. Here's Chouameni. Koundé. Early for Mbappe, followed by Kubasi. Cucurella is there as well, and it's good defensive work for a man who's been one of Spain's best performers this evening. Pedri. Llorente. Yamal. Llorente. Rodri. It'll be a free kick for Spain. Is it safe enough to say that Spain are through? You never know. Time, at the very least, for a couple of goals. They need to come soon from a French perspective. Rodri with the layoff. Pedri in the centre circle. Kubasi back to Rodri. Spins it first time round the corner. Here's Lamine Yamal. Llorente. All the way back to Unai Simon. Llorente with the clearance. Bit of a hack straight up in the air. Theo Hernandez meets it on halfway. Kubasi nods it forward again. Taken down by Upamecano. Ferran Torres pokes it free. Nico Williams will get there ahead of Upamecano. Williams tiptoeing into the penalty area. Williams on his own towards the near post. It's off the base of the woodwork. And behind, there was no one with him. If he was going to make it three, he would have had to done it by himself. Doué. Hernandez takes the throw in into Mbappe. Mbappe to Cherki. Cherki has Dembele alongside him. Feeds Ousmane Dembele onto his left. That was the chance they were looking for, and it's straight into the gloves of Unai Simon. It's not a bad chance for a man of his qualities. Tries to bend it past Marc Cucurella. Marino. Ferran Torres for Nico Williams. Koundé is down. Spain happy to just keep the ball now. It's Cucurella. And now Laporte. Rodri. Pedri. Llorente. Pedri. Llorente. That's back to Kubasi. Unai Simon. Long towards the halfway line. Won by Tchouaméni. Cucurella wins it back though in front of Rayan Cherki. Drops to Pedri here. Lifts it over the head of Maxence Lacroix. Cucurella. Lamine Yamal. Right hand side. 90 seconds remaining. That's how to play for a Spanish throw-in. Well, not have enough space to take it. All the Spanish substitutes and coaches are on their feet, ready to celebrate. Here's Lamine Yamal. Yamal tries to draw the free kick. Kone wins it cleanly. Here's Cherki. Doué. Big switch of play out to Dembele on the far side. Cucurella goes to meet him. Dembele takes it down impeccably. Here's Ousmane Dembele, only player in the box. Dembele towards the near post, pushed away by Unai Simon. They're testing him now, but far too late. Manu Kone. Kone for Doué. Doué for Mbappe. Tries to curl one. That's over the crossbar. And that could be that for France's hopes of glory. Surely now. Luis de la Fuente high-fiving his teammates, his coaching team, his squad. France can't quite believe what they've seen. The French supporters in the stands look shell-shocked. The Deschamps era, after 14 years, is coming to an end in a bit of a whimper as the referee blows the whistle. France crash out of the tournament. Spain, for the first time since 2010, through to the final. Prior to this tournament, that was the last time they'd won a knockout game at this global stage. Well, they're back. They'll be back in New Jersey. France's flight home will wait. They'll play for third place. But it's Spain that booked their place with an impeccable performance. Professional from the off. France frustrating. They'd caught the eye from the word go. Everyone expected them to go all the way at least to the showpiece final. But for the first time in this tournament, they struggled to make an impact. Their glittering stars didn't shine quite so brightly. This Spanish team, they are packed with talent of their own. But it was a proper team performance from Luis de la Fuente's men that earns themselves a place and potentially a chance at lifting the silverware on Sunday. It's a place that France probably thought that they were heading for. Instead, it's the European champions looking to add the world title to their glittering trophy cabinet for just the second time in their history. We'll find out whether it's Argentina or England, the opponents, on Sunday. But today, against the side that many have called the best in the tournament, Spain made them look very ordinary. Full time in Dallas. Spain are through to the final. France are out of contention. It's finished. France 0, Spain 2.
Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page.